Greek Mythology Trivia, Speed Round 4. Track how many questions you can get right. Question: which Greek goddess personified the rainbow and served as messenger of the gods? The answer is Iris. Fun fact: her name inspired the word iridescent, describing shimmering rainbow-like colors. Question: what did the goddess Eris throw among the goddesses to spark the judgment of Paris? The answer is a golden apple inscribed, "For the fairest." Fun fact: that single apple indirectly caused the Trojan War. Talk about chaos in a fruit bowl. Question: what Trojan prince escaped the city and founded a new civilization? The answer is Aeneas. Fun fact: according to Roman legend, he became an ancestor of Romulus and Remus. Question: which goddess fell in love with a mortal hunter named Adonis? The answer is Aphrodite. Fun fact: Adonis was fatally wounded by a wild boar. From his spilled blood, Aphrodite caused the anemone flower to bloom, symbolizing love and loss. Question: what was the name of the hunter killed by Artemis after boasting he could slay every animal on Earth? The answer is Orion. Fun fact: after his death, Zeus placed him among the stars as a constellation. Question: who was Antigone's father? The answer is Oedipus. Fun fact: Antigone remained loyal to Oedipus during his exile, guiding him until his death. Question: which Trojan prince judged a beauty contest between Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite? The answer is Paris. Fun fact: Aphrodite bribed him with the love of Helen, a deal that launched a 10-year war. Question: what was the name of Odysseus's loyal dog? The answer is Argos. Fun fact: Argos recognized Odysseus after 20 years, then peacefully died. Question: who wrote the tragedy Oedipus Rex? The answer is Sophocles. Fun fact: Aristotle called Oedipus Rex the perfect tragedy for its structure and emotional impact. Question: which monstrous guardian had 3 heads and guarded the gates of the underworld? The answer is Cerberus. Fun fact: despite his ferocity, Cerberus could be lulled to sleep with music, as Orpheus discovered. Question: which Greek god was known as the god of fear? The answer is Phobos. Fun fact: his twin brother Deimos represented terror. Both accompanied Ares in battle. Question: which man-eating horses did Hercules tame in his 8th labor? The answer is the mares of Diomedes. Fun fact: he fed their master to them to calm their rage. Question: which king of Corinth was punished by being forced to roll a boulder uphill forever? The answer is Sisyphus. Fun fact: his endless task inspired the modern phrase, a Sisyphean effort. Question: what was Hercules' first labor, where he had to slay an invincible lion? The answer is the Nemean lion. Fun fact: he skinned the beast using its own claws and wore its pelt as armor. Question: which god fell from Olympus for attempting to violate Hera? The answer is Hephaestus. Fun fact: he was thrown from Olympus twice, once by Hera and once by Zeus. Question: what blind prophet appears in multiple tragedies as the voice of fate? The answer is Tiresias. Fun fact: his blindness symbolizes inner sight and prophetic wisdom. Question: which Greek inventor tried to escape Crete by making wings from feathers and wax? The answer is Daedalus. Fun fact: his invention worked until his son Icarus flew too close to the sun and melted the wax. Question: which Titan personified the sky and was the father of the Titans? The answer is Uranus. Fun fact: his son Cronus overthrew him, beginning the cycle of power struggles among gods. Question: which ancient Greek temple is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world? The answer is the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus. Fun fact: it was destroyed and rebuilt several times, each grander than before. Question: who was the mother of the winged horse Pegasus? The answer is Medusa. Fun fact: Pegasus sprang from her blood when she was slain by Perseus. Question: who was Odysseus's faithful wife waiting in Ithaca? The answer is Penelope. Fun fact: she avoided remarriage by weaving and unweaving a funeral shroud. Question: which goddess of the hearth had her flame kept burning in every Greek home? The answer is Hestia. Fun fact: she gave up her throne on Mount Olympus to maintain peace among the gods. Question: who was the witch who turned Odysseus's men into pigs? The answer is Circe. Fun fact: she later became Odysseus's lover and helped him continue his journey. Question: what was the name of the nymph who loved Narcissus and wasted away until only her voice remained? The answer is Echo. Fun fact: Echo was cursed by Hera to only repeat the last words spoken to her, turning the once chatty nymph into the mythological origin of echoes. Question: which Greek goddess was known for her weaving skills and turned Arachne into a spider out of jealousy? The answer is Athena. Fun fact: the word arachnid for spiders comes directly from this myth. Thanks for watching. Comment below to let us know how many questions you got right. If you like this video, tap like, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and share with friends. See you in the next video.